Hey Yogi, welcome back to the final video in the arm balance series, in this series at least. Today we're going to look at Mayurasana or Peacock pose. So this posture is probably my favorite arm balance. I just love how free you feel in it. You kind of feel, I guess, sort of like a peacock when they kind of show their feathers. So this is a really great arm balance, but as always, really make sure that you warm up the wrists. The wrists are going to be going in a different direction to what they normally do. The fingertips face backwards in this posture, whereas in all the other poses we've done in the series, the fingertips are going forward. So really warm up the wrists here. Okay, let's get into it. So Mayurasana, in Ashtanga, I think this is in the intermediate series. It's definitely, I guess every pose is kind of an Ashtanga pose really. But yeah, it's an Ashtanga pose, and in the series, they actually come into this from standing, which I'm not going to demonstrate. So I'm just going to show you coming into it from kind of like a static position on the mat. So making sure the wrists are really warm. The position that the wrists and the arms are going to take in this pose is that we're going to turn. So we've got the soft bit of our elbows facing all the way forward and the forearm. So the whole arm is going to be facing the short end of the mat or the top of the mat. The fingertips are going to point backwards. We're going to bring the arms in across the body. So men can probably bring them in a bit closer, but women, because we've got some stuff in the way, are probably going to have to kind of bring them in like this. But really, we're squeezing the arms in. As always, we're engaging the belly. We're not just checking out with that. So what will happen is, as we bend the elbows, we'll be taking the weight of the body into the top of the arms. So that's quite common, I guess, in arm balances. So, you really want to make sure that you've got this motion. So if when you kind of take both palms flat to the mat and fingers facing back, if then trying to like bend the elbows at all doesn't happen, then you need to work on that, because we need to be able to bend the elbows and essentially drop this part of the arm into the body. And that creates quite a stable shelf. In fact, probably the most surface area you're going to get in any arm balance, certainly in any of the series that we've done. So, there's quite a lot of support here for the body. So if I demonstrate, traditionally you would have both hands connected, so the baby fingers would touch. I like to have my hands slightly apart. I'm quite broad in the shoulders, and I think that's why I like it that way, but it's really personal preference. I'm just going to creep forward so that I'm still got my feet onto the mat. So from here, I'm going to walk my knees back, tucking the toes under. Then I'm going to send my gaze ahead as always and really engage the belly. Then I'm going to lean forward and just drop the arms into the belly. So the belly is now on the arms. I'm going to creep the toes in a bit, lift one foot up and then the other. So my face is fairly close to the ground. I'm using the fingertips as levers, and then when I'm ready, I point the toes, drop them, drop the knees, and then release the hands. So you can do that with the arms closer together. As close as the arms come, you're obviously going to have a nice steady, almost like lying on a little table. As I said, the hands traditionally would come together. I personally find that just really a bit more unattainable. Really important here is, and you may not see it in the video, but there's a lot of, I've said this in every video, but in this particular arm balance, there's a lot of gripping of the fingers to transfer the weight. So one of the things that makes this challenging is, well, there's a couple of things. First of all, we're taking the hands the wrong way. This isn't This doesn't feel very natural to us. Lots of teachers will kind of warm up the wrists by doing kind of a reverse hand cat-cow, or maybe taking some circles. I know my teacher is big on that. So, but other than that, we don't do a lot of other, I can't think of any other postures really where we're sending the arms back like that. So it's muscle memory that's maybe not there yet. So, you know, just practicing leaning down, even if the feet don't come off, eventually the feet will come off. The other thing that makes it quite challenging is that in all the other arm balances, I've kind of been suggesting that, you know, the smaller we can get and the more engagement we can have, the lighter we will be. And with this, you've got your whole legs, and if you're tall, like I am, then you've got quite a lot of surface area to lift. So that may be the challenge, is getting, that may be what's stopping the feet. Also, you know, if you're kind of like an athlete, somebody that does a lot of weightlifting or rugby or CrossFit, and you've got really large muscles in the legs, you know, really big quads, really big calves, then, you know, you've got a lot of weight to lift there. And so having it long and lifting up might be a challenge. So you can work up to it by just creating a smaller structure. So what we'll do is we'll take the hands down, we'll squeeze the arms in together, getting the hand placement. So the hands are in line, fingertips are spread. Then I'm going to walk the knees back as I did in the first one. And again, as I did in the first one, I'm going to transfer the gaze and the weight forward and bend my elbows. And you might need to rearrange to make sure you've got the belly there. Now what you can do is bend the knee, lift one foot up, bend the other knee, lift the other foot up, take the toes to connect. That might feel a little bit easier. So you can work on that and just keep, because you've made the structure a bit smaller basically by bending the knees. So you can work on that and then lift. And then when you're ready, you can get into the full posture. What I would say is just practice lifting one foot off and then maybe putting it down, lifting the other foot off, 5 breaths. You know, the longer that you're in the posture with like half the weight off and half the weight on, you're going to be building strength while you're doing that. And also just building awareness. You know, if it's a brand new pose you've never done before, it takes a while to know, how should I feel in this posture? So we'll just try that one more time. So turning the palms out so that the hands are facing backwards. Taking the fingertips and spreading them. Then walking the knees back a bit until you get to the point where you can bend the elbows, lean forward, lift one foot up, lift the other foot up, and just point the toes and hold. Using the fingertips as your levers and as your brakes. Mayurasana. Point the toes to come back down, back onto the knees, and lift the hands. Maybe give the arms a little bit of the hands a little bit of a shake, the wrists a shake. So, Mayurasana, the last arm balance of the series. We've really, they don't look like it, but we've really enjoyed filming this for you, and we're just wanting to, the aim is to just help you kind of take forward wherever you are in your arm balance practice. And remembering it's all a journey. You know, there is a point where every single person you see doing any yoga posture, just remind yourself, you know, everyone started as a beginner from somewhere, and there was a point where the person doing the pose, demonstrating the pose, teaching the pose couldn't do that either. So, you know, just work on you and worry about being in your own lane. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. If you keep coming back to the videos, keep following the drills, then you're going to get there. So thank you so much for joining along. Comment and let me know how you got on, and please subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep producing stuff like this for you to have a go at. I'll see you soon, Yogi.